Oh, they're going to hate me for saying this. But if you're a founder and you're doing the sales in the business alongside everything else like operations and customer delivery, then here's a secret no one wants you to know. You don't actually have to be good at objections to be good at sales. Now, I know all the gurus want you to think that objections are the main thing about sales, and that's convenient for them because if you think that, then you'll buy their content or buy their course and spend thousands. But the truth is, if you're a founder, you haven't got time to master complicated or weird manipulative sales techniques. And besides, a lot of the case, you send over your quote and the prospect just won't come back to you. So you can't overcome any objections when you can't get the prospect back on the phone. Now, here's the thing that a lot of people won't tell you is the objections are something that the prospect says when there's something else stopping the deal move forward. And there's only 5 reasons that a deal won't close. So rather than worrying about objections, all you need to do is master these 5 reasons that a deal won't close, know how to look for them, and then you won't have to worry about handling objections ever again. So I'm going to explain exactly what they are in this video, and then you can take it into your own business. Let's dive in. So, root cause 1 is that the pain of staying the same for a prospect has to be greater than the pain of change. I want you to imagine that there's a big elastic band tied around the prospect and it's pulling it back to status quo. Unless we can shine a light on the problems and what it costs or what they're going to miss out on by not taking action, it's going to be impossible to build up enough momentum to snap that elastic band. So start understanding that the prospect needs to see and understand what they're going to lose by staying where they are for them to see the benefit, the true benefit of moving to your new solution. Root cause number 2 is the root cause. We've all had those prospects where you are convinced that they are the perfect fit. You're like, these are absolutely perfect for me. And then they don't go ahead. Or even worse, they go to a competitor and you're like, why have they gone to them? That just doesn't make sense. That's because the prospect doesn't see what you see. They have to understand the root cause of their problems and they have to understand that you're the best solution. Think about if you took your car in for a rattle and then the mechanic said you needed a new engine. You'd be like, no, I don't. It's just a rattle. It would need the mechanic to take you over to the car, walk you through, show you the parts, show you what's wrong for you to understand that, oh yeah, I can see the engine's kaput. Focus on walking your prospects through the problems so they can understand for themselves why the problem exists and what the root cause of that is. Number 3 is they don't believe that the perceived risk is worth the investment. They might want what you offer, but it's not just about wanting what you offer. They have to believe that the perceived likelihood of success, so how likely you are to be able to deliver that outcome, has to be high enough to justify the investment of time, effort, money, or resource to be able to get them. So if they aren't confident enough in your solution, even though they think it might work, if they're not confident enough, then they'll just resort to the status quo and those nagging little doubts will win and they'll just stay where they are. Number 4, something else has killed the deal that you weren't aware of. So this can be an alternative. It can be competition for budget. It can be something that they've been burnt before, but it affects how they feel about the solution. If you don't surface it during the sales process, then it's impossible for you to position or preempt or educate the prospect on why you're going to be different. So asking questions around what could stop this or what the alternatives would be if you weren't spending your money on this will allow you to get that information, so it allows you to position your product or service in a way that covers off all the bases that need to be covered. And in the same light, the last one, and one of the most common, is the decision-making process. So someone else, not something else, has also killed the deal. A lot of the time we think that we're dealing with the right decision maker, but there's people that can be indirect decision makers that can still kill or poison a deal. By asking questions to surface the decision making process and understand who says what and whether it's a key stakeholder or whether they can say no or whether they're asking for permission, questions like this will help you understand the true decision making process so that you can either try to get to speak to that main decision maker, or you can give the prospect, the person that you're speaking to, assets which will help sell for you when you aren't in the room. And that's it. If you've gone through any of those and you're thinking, well, Joe, that's great, but how does that apply to the business? Then you can book a call with me and we'll go through it, how it applies to your own sales process. I'll find the biggest bottleneck in your sales and marketing. We'll map out what to fix and in what order. And I'll do it for free because I don't think you should have to pay me thousands of pounds just to find out if we're any good or not. So if that sounds interesting, click the link, book a call, and I will see you on the other side.